So Drake has returned by releasing his brand new Iceman, which has been long awaited, long promo. Everybody's been curious about what it's going to sound like for the most part. But he surprised everybody and dropped 2 additional albums, Maid of Honor and Habibti. So the first question is, did Drake leave anything on the table in relations to either going more in depth or anything that necessarily we were kind of expecting with this massive rollout with Iceman? Did he cover everything for you, or did you want something more from him?
Just about. There was some stuff that I wish he just left alone.
Okay. I guess this is in reference to Iceman, or do we want to talk about?
Yeah, all the other stuff, he didn't address none of that shit in there. That's just, the other records are just for the party. Iceman is him addressing everything that's transpired in the last 2 years.
Sure.
I thought it's a decent project. I've listened to it a couple of times. He gave me the growth that I was looking for from him. He gave me some of the depth that I was looking for from him. And sadly enough, I still wanted more. And that he addressed that.
On one of the songs.
Yeah. But it was just an okay project to me, I can't say.
What was the growth you thought though?
Like
the sprinkles in the first couple songs?
Yeah, the sprinkles of depth that he gave me. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just
for one song.
It wasn't just one song. You know what I mean?
He gave us most of it in the very beginning of the album,
and then maybe free.
Yeah, he tried there,
but I think that song is just the same as what Make Them Pay.
Yeah,
well, that's
it's the same thing. Make that free song and Make Them Pay is the same shit.
I don't really. All right, so I didn't really see.
It's the same thing, pretty much.
I can dig that. I can't say as I've seen any growth as far as leaving anything on the table. I feel like he addressed a lot of things that he should have addressed 2 years ago. This is like a project that was turned into for you to graduate. All your homies and graduated, and then here you come 2 years later after you've read everybody else's project and you got yours and you're turning it in and submitting. It's like everybody else already graduated and got a job. This is a good paper, but you was supposed to turn this shit in 2 years ago when everybody else did. And the reason why I bring that up is because when this was ignited initially, the beef itself, Drake stepped out after the song that Kendrick did with Future. He stepped out and dropped and was baiting Kendrick like, hey, it's been too long. You aren't responding.
Yeah.
I think Kendrick finally responded within 2 weeks. And then here we are now 2 years later. And then the last song that Drake did was pretty much I'm bowing out of this because I feel like you're not going to leave it alone. And if that's how you feel, you should have left it there. Now, he was talking his shit on there. I give him that. I kind of agree with there might be 1 or 2 songs on here where he actually went in depth as far as growth and things of that nature. He said there were no features on the first song. He already lied because there were features. He featured Future and Molly and then 21 Savage. Yeah.
I know Future did.
Future had a verse and Molly had, I mean, if you want to call it a verse, she had a verse. And then 21, he was just on the chorus.
Hated that.
Yeah. But I mean,
he was talking on there though.
That song is weak as shit to me. If I'm talking about anything that I didn't like, that's definitely the Ran Back to Atlanta I didn't like.
I hated Ran to Atlanta.
Yeah, that's definitely not growth because I mean you're addressing things that you should have addressed during the beef. It's like Kendrick said, you know what I'm saying, you run in Atlanta when you need a hit. Kind of took it and spun it, which is cool. But you should have spun it a long time ago, man. The relationships, he's mad at everybody on here. Nobody's his friend. These is rich people problems, I guess. This is what I really hate, though. I don't like the fact that with the Michael movie coming out and him using the glove as his record cover, that to me shows some childish shit because regardless of what streaming numbers and things of that says, you will never be on Mike's level. Nobody will ever be on Mike's level. I don't care how many streams, records you break or whatnot. You're not selling albums like they did back then. So that rubbed me the wrong way as far as
just imagery in comparison.
Yeah, I don't like that. But overall, I honestly...
Did he cover everything?
Did he cover everything?
that you wanted him to?
I guess. I mean, he just covered it too many times. It was 8 songs, and it's like it was a repetitive situation where he talked about it a whole lot. And like I said, it's 2 years too late. You should have turned your paper in a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is the thing. You know, I listened to this on a whole bunch of levels. I'm like, okay, is he going to address some of the things that, you know, have been said about him or the things he's experienced in the past 2 years? Yes, he did that. I mean, yes, he talked to us about his father having cancer and a little bit of his family issues. I guess that's a little bit of growth, but you know, Drake has always kind of given you those little peeks into his psyche, you know, and he would always do that at the beginning of his albums, like whether it be Fireworks or on his first project and Over My Dead Body on Take Care. Like he's done that before.
Tuscan Leather.
Yeah. So I mean, and I appreciate when people try to actually be themselves as opposed to be the person, the celebrity version of who they are. But, you know, I don't think I could put it any better than Terry when he said, hey, man, you know, you should have told us this 2 years ago. You know, you coming to us now. It's not that we don't care, but we've essentially all moved on. Well, I mean, some people haven't.
I was about to say his fans haven't.
His fans haven't, you know, because they
need that redemption, man.
Yeah, they don't have their closure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Kendrick put out GNX, didn't say nothing about Drake. You know, he did, and they had the opportunity to put Not Like Us on that album, and just play the numbers game, and they didn't do it. You know, so
it's not over.
And the thing is, just as an album, man, this shit was kind of a chore to listen to. You know, I mean,
Damn.
It reminded me almost of like how sometimes Eminem's albums just aren't fun to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just kind of you get through them just so you can say, I like this, I like that. But, you know, after a certain amount of time, you're like, I'll probably never listen to that again. And that's how I honestly feel about the ICEMAN album. There's stuff on, the Maid of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's more upbeat.
You know, it was at least interesting. Like, I don't think ICEMAN was a particularly interesting album. Like even in this probably the places where it was trying to push itself into a more commercial space. In fact, I won't compare him to Eminem. I'll compare him to his mentor, Lil Wayne, to where it was like, okay, we got a project from Wayne. And
recent Wayne.
Yeah. And but I've been bored by Lil Wayne's projects for the last 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am with a Drake project, and this wasn't a particularly enjoyable album to listen to. And I really thought, well, maybe I'm just in a weird space as far as like Drake is concerned. But I went back and listened to like his earlier projects. And I was like, no, I still enjoy these.
Mm-hmm.
These were fun to listen to. There was something here that I could grasp.
Is that nostalgia?
I don't know if it's so much nostalgia, but it was like, okay, I can think about this was clever. This was fun. This was whatever, you know, even if I'm just saying, oh, that was a vibe. It's just a term I hate. I guess there's some vibey records here, but overall,
there's great production on there.
I mean, at certain points I was like, okay, is this the same song I listened to 3 songs ago?
Yeah.
So that was So
can I say something real quick?
Sure.
As a DJ, I think it was intentional, the ICEMAN being cold and everything being around the same BPM. You know what I mean? Because I'm listening to the rest of the records, everything is probably between 70 to 80 BPMs for the most part, with the exception of Too Hot for the Radio, which he said that Mustard hasn't had a song since him and YG. And
yeah, you
he
completely forgot about something.
And he made a beat that sounded just like Squabble Up. He's rapping on the beat that sounds just like Squabble Up.
Yeah, and he took Mac Dre's flow and things of that nature. But
aside from that song, everything was around the same BPM for the most part.
But then he had all like, I would listen to it, I was like, oh, here comes the beat switch. You know, and I get it. I appreciate
predictable.
That. But it got to the point where like, okay, this isn't even hot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it became, it was a chore to listen to. Like I wanted to, okay, where he was addressing people, okay, I kind of enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but overall, like I don't think I'm going to go back to this album now that we're, I wanted to have a concise and real opinion about it because I knew we were going to talk about it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really see myself going back to much of this.
I think that's why I keep going back to it, because I'm trying to
pull something from it.
I'm trying to pull something from it. And like you said, as a DJ, it did stick around the same BPMs, but there really ain't no joints on there like this gonna make no party go crazy. I don't
I
think.
disagree.
Janice
Janice is fire.
Yeah.
But because of how slow it is. Everything is in that same pocket.
But there are records that are slow that still go. I think Janice is gonna go, and I think Shebang is gonna go.
I don't
Yeah,
really
but do you think
stuff.
it's going to go over the records that are off of Maid of Honor?
Nah, because
It
those
depend-
were intentional.
Different settings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can get some off the Iceman. You can get some off, but I'm saying, like, if I'm thinking of like a party, huge ass party, like, you know what I'm saying, in Vegas or some shit like that.
That's what Made the Honors for.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing that's gonna be for. But like, you can definitely sneak something in. That Janice is probably gonna have to get snuck in because that shit's fire. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't like nothing on this album, because, like, again, in my personal opinion, the beats on there are fire. Out of 18 songs, I think I'm rocking with like 6.
Okay.
So my initial thoughts when I put this on, I happened to be up when it dropped. My wife was playing a video game, and I was like, let me put this on, listen to this while you're playing this game. And after 4 records, I was like, after 3.5, I was like, okay, Drake might actually have something. I thought I liked the way he came out with it. It was very much a very kind of somber type of approach, kind of in a way, very much in a very particular sonic palette pocket. But he came out and addressed some things. I'm like, all right, cool. There's this song about addressing things. There it is, right? And then he followed it up with the next one. I'm like, all right, this is straight. There's a little beat switch, but it's like, all right, that's cool. Then the next one, I'm like, all right, cool. I like the beat. It's doing whatever. And then what's the next one? The next one was the one with the Janice.
Atlanta?
Janice was the next one.
Yeah.
Ran to Atlanta was the first one where I was like, oh, okay, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And then from there, I didn't like Shebang. And then from there, it was just like, Make Them Pay, where the beat was fire. Shouts to Overcast. And it's like, wait, I've already heard this. And then it was like the next record's like, okay, I heard it. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, this entire project's about not having friends. And every single song was like a repeat with a different beat and a different type of flip of it. And I think by like track like 15, I was at the point, I was like,
over it.
Well, it was just like, how many more, like, everything kind of sounded the same, and the stuff that didn't sound the same sounded bad. So I was just like, I don't like that. There's a handful of them I just didn't like at all, which I didn't expect to like. But the fact that I did like some of them was kind of like, all right, that's cool. But the thing is like, the records that I liked, they all sounded the same.
Right.
They all sounded the same. And I'm like, you could have just compacted this into one really good song, which, well, I mean, I guess, but then again, every one of those songs was like 5 minutes long. So it's like, Make Them Remember is 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Make Them Cry is 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Make Them Pray is 5 minutes.
Pay.
Firm Friends is 5 minutes and 2 minutes. Like, these are all like super, like, it's like he was trying to like work out his emotions in a whole bunch of different types of ways around not having friends anymore.
Well, I don't think it's that I don't have any friends. It's I thought you was my friend,
Right.
and then you proved to me that you not my friend.
Which
So I
He
can't
said he
mess
didn't
with
want
you.
no new friends a long time ago.
in return, he has no friends.
No new
Yeah.
friends.
This entire project is, I don't have, like, all my friends that I thought were my friends are not my friends coded. That's like the entire theme of everything to me.
That goes back to Views. Ain't that how you started out Views?
I don't know.
It's repetitive.
I don't know, but it was like, I feel like if this would have been a great EP with like 4 records, or 4 or 5 records, I think, or maybe a couple of those. But in general, like, when it comes down to the question of like, did he give me what I wanted from Drake in this? Did he go as in depth that maybe I wanted? Did he tap into who he was? Nah, he kind of poked it a little bit. He said a couple lines, but nothing was connected. Nothing was, I mean, you could say the recurring pattern of all the make them whatever is kind of a theme in a way. Yeah, it's a very shallow theme. It's very finger deep, and so like,
That's who he is, though.
He didn't resolve anything.
to my point
essentially.
is he did not give me the growth
Yeah.
that I wanted from him to want to listen to this more to dive into like, okay, Drake is different. And from the beginning, I was like, I thought that I was going to get that from him because he touched on some stuff that I was like, all right, cool. He's giving me a little bit of vulnerable in this. He actually said some stuff that, like, he got hurt by some of the stuff. Like, his feelings were hurt.
That's the whole album.
I know, but the thing is, he actually said it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, we all know that he's this sensitive guy, right? But my problem with Drake a lot of times is like, if you're going to make he didn't say nobody's name.
Nobody.
Yeah, I agree
Not
with that.
one person's name.
Except for Khaled.
Yeah, he feels safe around Khaled.
And Ross.
Yeah, he said Ross.
Yeah, but it's always in a clever way.
Yeah.
You know, it's never like
It just said, hey, Drake.
yeah, I heard you like him young. You know, like it's nothing like that. It's always just like this subtle, sly, let me be kind of clever with it. And it's like, if you're going to talk, to Terry's point, if you're going to talk about this 2 years later and you want to address something, put it in a song, say names, do the thing because it's over with. That's the way that I feel about it. You can still be clever with the wordplay and stuff, which I thought he was really great with the wordplay. The clever, I think that's the one shiny thing.
As long as he wrote it.
Yeah, sure.
There was some corny stuff on there.
Yeah.
Sure, there was a lot of corny stuff on there. A lot of lines.
He had some nice lines on
Yeah.
it.
No, he had some. Yeah, I was
He had
like,
some
okay.
good stuff, and then he had some like.
But then he had some stuff where I was like, come on, dog.
He had some Lil
You
Wayne
have 2
similes.
years to do this?
He had some Lil Wayne similes in there that were really corny, but in general, most of it was. I think that was the shining piece of everything, and how he sounded. His delivery was kind of the same on pretty much everything for the most part, except for the times he switched it up. But like, he didn't really give me what I was really kind of looking for and hoping that he would give me, so that I could look at him differently. He kind of gave me exactly what I expected.
Yeah, because that's what we're gonna ask. Did he give you Drake though?
He absolutely gave you Drake.
He gave me Drake in the sense of, yeah, of course.
Except he ain't crying about women on this one. He's
He
crying
gave me
about
Drake,
dudes.
but the thing is like, that has nothing to do.
I mean, am I wrong though?
Yeah, no, you're right.
He switched it to where
He put
he's
that
very
stuff on other
emotional.
projects.
That was on the
Yeah.
other records.
Yeah, he's emotional about all his guy friends on this one. And
I'm okay with that though. The thing is,
I'm cool
the
with
thing
it,
is
but-
like, I'm okay if you're gonna like be vulnerable in a real type of capacity. It just wasn't, I don't know. And to your point, Byron, I think this is who he is, you know, and so it just further kind of solidified that this is Drake to me. And I feel like he kind of tapped his fingers in the water a little bit, just kind of see, but he didn't jump in.
I mean, there was some stuff that he was saying that kind of made sense to me. You know what I mean? It was like, man, y'all keep saying that I'm fighting this dude Kendrick, man, but it's more than that. I'm fighting the entire industry.
yeah, that's what he said. But
He's fighting the United States.
this is why I don't trust Drake, because he'll say some shit like that. He has songs talking about how him and Lucian were Batman and Robin, or Kobe and Shaq. And remember, he was in a $40 million deal or some shit like that, and talking about
500.
Was it that much? Well, I know it was a lot. Talking about why would I go independent, because I got this good relationship over here. When 2 summers ago didn't go the way that he thought it was going to go, now you switched your tune because you thought that since I'm so cool with this dude, I guess at UMG, that they was going to back me. In real time, regardless of what you say as far as numbers and things like that was cloudy or somebody helped aid and assist, I was outside in real time and heard people playing these songs. This wasn't no bots riding around the city or you going to parties and every party is playing this Kendrick shit, man. This isn't made up. You know what I'm saying? That particular situation didn't go your route, and maybe you thought you were better friends with them, that they might have looked out for you because of that. Because if we paid attention to all the promo leading up to Iceman, Drake is in everybody's pocket because Complex didn't stop. Billboard didn't stop. Spotify lied about streaming numbers, gave him a record and it wasn't even broken.
Always do though.
They put 2 songs together, and then once they got caught inflating his numbers, they're like, oh, we accidentally put 2 songs together and that was the total. BTS still has it. So there's a lot of funny work going on there, but you were upset with Lucian and your situation because you didn't come out. And now you're saying that this isn't against a rapper, it's against another man or corporation or blah, blah, blah. at the end of the day, you're very rich off of that situation.
And further from that, he's not going at, it's not him versus all these things. He is a rich, independent person, and he doesn't have to address any of this stuff if he doesn't want to. You know, and if he was more secure in his standing of what everything was, he wouldn't feel like he needs to make an 18-track project referencing all this stuff and making sneak disses and clever lines all over again. You would move on and make like new records like Janice Shut the Up. Like you would do a whole bunch of stuff like that. And the stuff
but that was a slight towards the record company and whoever else too. But yeah, that was fire though.
But like, yeah, you know, like, I don't know. It's
not man versus machine. It's machine versus machine.
Yeah, I don't really.
Boucher.
I don't really. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.